To construct an effective upper back attack, you should first divide the area into two sections: the lats, which are the wide sweeping muscles under each arm, and the midback, or traps, which are broad muscles that run from the base of your neck down your spine to the middle of your back. These areas tend to function somewhat independently, and each has its own 3 positions of flexion. Let's look at the lats positions first. You work your lats through their mid-range position with any type of overhead pull-down to the front or chin-up to the front. You achieve the lats stretch position when your upper arms are up next to and being pulled slightly back behind your head, as in the bottom of a pullover. You achieve total lat contraction when your arms are down next to and slightly behind your torso. You work the mid-range position first to hit the bulk of the lat fibers, so the first exercise in the P.O.F. lat routine is the front pull-down. Notice that the target muscle doesn't reach full stretch or complete contraction. There is not much stretch because the resistance is pulling your arms up, not back, as in a pullover, and the movement lacks complete contraction because the upper arms are pulling down and in from the sides. In order to get complete lat contraction, scapular rotation must occur, as in a stiff arm pull-down. To make this mid-range position exercise as productive as possible, don't lean back. Keep your torso upright so that you don't turn this movement into a rowing exercise. Pull the bar to just below your chin. Remember, this is a mid-range exercise, so the middle of the range of the motion is the most important. Also, because this is a mid-range movement, there is no reason to pause at the top or bottom. Keep the bar moving in a piston-like manner. Alternate lat mid-range exercises include front chins. Use a medium-wide grip and pull yourself up until your chin clears the bar. Then slowly lower back to the bottom. The second exercise in the P.O.F. lat routine is the dumbbell pullover. With this movement, you get complete lat stretch because your upper arms travel back behind your head. This complete stretch position for your lats allows you to take advantage of the pre-stretch phenomenon. By reversing the movement with a quick twitch in the bottom stretch position, you can involve more lat fibers, get a more powerful contraction, and stimulate more growth. To make the dumbbell pullover as effective as possible, don't pause at the bottom of each rep. You want a quick twitch at this point in order to recruit reserve muscle fibers. Retain a slight break at your elbows. This will relieve tension from your biceps and help you focus on your lats. Bring the dumbbell to a point just above your face, and then begin the next rep. This will keep the resistance on the lats constant. Alternate lat stretch position movements include barbell pullovers. Keep the bar moving. Don't rest at the top or bottom of the movement. The third exercise in the P.O.F. lat program is stiff arm pull-downs, which is a lat contracted position exercise. Really squeeze the lats hard at the bottom of each rep and feel the muscles contracting. The myotatic reflex in the previous stretch position exercise has primed reserve fibers to fire, so you'll really have to force yourself to push through the pain barrier to finish off your lats. To make this exercise as effective as possible, retain a slight break at your elbows. This will relieve tension from your biceps and help you focus on your lats. Alternate lat contracted position exercises include undergrip pull-downs. Although this isn't an isolation movement, you still get scapular rotation and effectively reach the lats contracted position. Lean slightly back during the pulling stroke to ensure total contraction. The mid-back is a difficult area to develop for many bodybuilders. This is usually due to insufficient feel or an inadequate mind-muscle link during mid-back workouts. P.O.F. solves this problem with synergy, the myotatic reflex, and peak contraction, all of which you combine to give your mid-back a blast of blowtorch intensity. You achieve the mid-back's mid-range position when you pull your arms from an overhead position down and back. As in a behind-the-neck pull-down, you reach the mid-back's stretch position when your hands are close together and your arms are perpendicular to your torso, as in a close-grip cable row or one-arm dumbbell row. You achieve total mid-back contraction when your hands are out slightly wider than your shoulders and your elbows are behind and angled up away from your torso, as in a medium-wide grip row. You achieve the most synergy during behind-the-neck pull-downs, the mid-back's mid-range movement, which means you work the bulk of the muscle with this exercise. Notice that the biceps, lats, and rear delts help the mid-back pull the bar down and back to the base of the neck. To get the most from this exercise, keep the bar moving in a piston-like manner. This is a mid-range movement, so there's no need to emphasize the top or bottom of the range of motion. Keep your elbows back to focus the majority of the stress on the mid-back. To reach the mid-back's total stretch position, choose the one-arm dumbbell row. Lower the dumbbell straight down, use a quick twitch to reverse the movement at the bottom, and keep your elbow angled slightly away from your torso. Notice that you don't achieve complete contraction at the top due to the way your torso rolls away from the dumbbell in this position. To reach complete contraction, you would need a different exercise. Wide grip cable rows hit your mid-back's contracted position. Your mid-back is now primed for maximum fiber contraction due to the myotatic reflex activation during the one-arm dumbbell rows, so you should have no trouble feeling your mid-back work. To make this exercise as effective as possible, squeeze the mid-back for a 2 count at the top of each rep. Keep your torso as upright as possible. There's no need to lean forward on the downward stroke. Due to the trap's multiple points of insertion along the spine, the upper and lower areas tend to function somewhat independently. The previous routine stressed the lower portion of this muscle group, so for complete development, you need to hit the upper area separately. Fortunately, behind-the-neck pull-downs hit the entire mid-back's mid-range position, so all that's left is the stretch and contracted positions. One exercise hits both of these crucial upper mid-back positions, and that exercise is shrugs. The bottom of this exercise activates the myotatic reflex while the top gives your traps an intense contraction. This is the perfect finishing exercise for your mid-back routine. To make this exercise as effective as possible, use a quick twitch at the bottom to activate the myotatic reflex and recruit more muscle fibers. Pause for a count of 2 at the top of each rep. Don't roll your shoulders back at the top. Your shoulder movement should be straight up and down. Now that you've seen all the positions for the lats and mid-back, let's look at the complete P.O.F. back routine. Mid-range, front pull-downs or front chins. 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Stretch, pullovers. 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Contracted, stiff arm pull-downs. 1 to 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Mid-range, behind the neck pull-downs. 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Stretch, 1-arm dumbbell rows. 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Contracted, wide grip cable rows. 1 to 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Upper stretch and contracted, shrugs. 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Here are a few tips and suggestions to help you get the most development possible from P.O.F. 1. Train your legs and back no more than twice a week using P.O.F. This will keep you from overtraining these muscle groups. 2. If you split your routine, alternate the following 2 workouts with a day of rest in between. Day 1, quads, hamstrings, calves, chest, triceps. Day 2, rest. Day 3, back, deltoids, biceps, forearms, abdominals. Day 4, rest. 3. Do 2 light warm-up sets on your mid-range exercises for each body part using 50 to 70% of your work weight and 1 light warm-up set on your stretch position movements. Keep in mind that a warm muscle can contract harder than a cold one, so don't neglect these important sets. 4. Take all of your P.O.F. work sets to positive failure, to the point where another repetition in good form is impossible. This will ensure that you're overloading the muscle and stimulating growth at every workout. 5. Never do more than 24 high-intensity sets in any one workout. More than 24 sets taken to positive failure in any one workout will cause most bodybuilders to overtrain. 6. Use a phase training approach. Do 4 to 6 weeks of high-intensity training, taking every work set to at least positive failure, then back off for 2 weeks, stopping every work set 2 reps short of failure. The 2-week medium-intensity phase will allow your recovery ability to heal and prepare your muscles and your overall system for your next high-intensity phase. 7. Try aftershock training when you're ready to up your intensity level. One form of aftershock training is called isolation aftershock, and it consists of supersetting the stretch position and contracted position exercises in any body part routine. For example, for quads, do 2 sets of squats, then superset sissy squats with leg extensions. The reserve fiber recruitment you achieve with the sissy squats will more effectively carry over into your leg extensions when you superset, making the peak contraction effect much more intense.